Hello everyone, I am Bipul Sarkar, Assistant Professor in Botany, Korimpur, Pannadevi College. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on the topic of mutation, definition and types. So let's get started. At first we should know what is mutation. So definition of the mutation is sudden heritable changes in genetic material or alteration of nucleotide sequence of the genome is called mutation. This is happened due to mistakes when DNA is synthesized or as a result of environmental factors such as UV light. Next we should know origin of the mutation term. At first, Hugo de Vries first used the term mutation in 1901 to describe the phenotypic changes which were inheritable when he was working on Onothera lamarckiana. Next is types of mutation. Classification of mutation is done based on some parameters. Number one is based on size. So based on size, some mutations types are point mutation and chromosomal mutation. At first we should know about the point mutation. It is also called gene mutation. What is point mutation? A change in a very small fragment of DNA, generally considered to involve in a single nucleotide or pair of nucleotides. Next is chromosomal mutation. In this case, changes involving more than one or few nucleotides of DNA. It may involve in megabases of DNA that may include the entire gene or the entire chromosome or sets of chromosomes, that is called polyploidy. Next is next classification based on the effect of the protein. Some type of mutation under effect of protein is silent mutation, nonsense mutation, missense mutation, neutral mutation, friendship mutation. So at first, silent mutation. It is a change in a codon that does not change the amino acid coded for and does not result in phenotypic change. Generally, it happens in the third position of the codon. Next is nonsense mutation. In this case, change involved in a codon that leads to a stop codon and ultimately results in premature amino acid chain termination during translation. Next is missense mutation. In this case, change in a codon that changes the specificity to different amino acid and results in changes the primary sequence of the polypeptide chain and alters the protein function. Next mutation type is neutral mutation. In this case, change in a codon in such a way that changes the specificity to a amino acid but acts like the previous, that is original amino acid, due to having similarities functional group and does not alter the protein function. And next and last type of mutation that is under the effect of protein, it is frame shift mutation. It involves in a shift of the reading frame caused by a deletion or insertion of one or a few nucleotides and creates numerous nonsense and missense mutation in downstream events. Next parameter is effect on gene function. Under this parameter, there are two types of mutation, that is loss of function mutation and gain of function mutation. What is loss of function mutation? A mutation that results in a loss of gene function. This can result from a number of different types of mutation and generally it is recessive in nature. Next is gain of function mutation. In this case, mutation results in a gain of new gene function and this can result from a number of different types of mutation and it is dominant in nature generally. Next parameter is on the basis of structure. Under this parameter, there are three types of mutation, that is base substitution mutation, and substitution of one nucleotide for another, and deletion mutation, loss of some portion of DNA, and insertion mutation, that is addition of one or more extra nucleotides. But under base substitution mutation, there are two types of mutation, that is transition mutation and transversion mutation. In transition mutation, substitute one purine for another purine or one pyrimidine for another pyrimidine. And in case of transversion mutation, it substitute one purine for a pyrimidine or vice versa. That is one pyrimidine for one purine. Next parameter is chromosomal rearrangement. Based on chromosomal rearrangement, there are two types of mutation, that is translocations and inversion. What is translocation? Translocation is movement of DNA fragment to a non-homologous chromosome. Usually exchange occurs between two non-homologous chromosomes in this case. And in case of inversions, movement of DNA within the same chromosome, that is a 180 degree rotation or a flip happened. Next is origin. Based on origin, there are two types of mutation. First is spontaneous mutation and next is induced mutation. In case of spontaneous mutation, this mutation occurs during normal cellular activities, primarily DNA replication, when DNA replication and repair occur. And next is induced mutation. In this case, mutation occurs as a result of treatment with a mutagenic agent or environment. In this type mutation, the rate is higher. Mutation rate is higher than previous one, and that is a spontaneous mutation. Induced mutation occurs due to several agents like chemicals. Under chemicals, such agents are base analogs, base modifiers, interconnecting agents. Next is ionizing radiation. Under ionizing radiation, alpha, beta, gamma and X-rays. And next is non-ionizing radiation such as UV light. Next parameter is cell type. Based on cell type, there are two types of mutation. One is somatic cell mutation and another is germ cell mutation. So what is somatic cell mutation? These mutations occur in body cells, not in sex cells. Often produced a mutant phenotype in only a sector or of organism, not a heritable change, and it is not a heritable change. Next is germ cell mutation. It is occurs in sex cells and produce a heritable change. Next parameter is direction. Based on direction, there are three types of mutation. First one is forward mutation, second one is reverse mutation, and third one is suppressor mutation. At first, we should know forward mutation. What is forward mutation? This mutation creates a change from wild type to abnormal phenotype. Next is reverse mutation. This mutation changes an altered nucleotide sequence back to its original sequence. And third is suppressor mutation. This mutation creates a change from abnormal phenotypes back to wild type. Next, besides these mutations, some mutations are lethal mutation, semi-lethal mutation, morphological mutation. What is lethal mutation? This mutation results in death of the individual organism before adult stage. Example, albino mutation resulting from chlorophyll deficiency in plants. And next is semi-lethal mutation. In this case, this mutation causes more than 90% of death, but less than 100%. And next is morphological mutation. This involves changes in morphology such as color, shape, size, etc. Example of this mutation is albino ascospores in neurospora. Next, these are some reference which is used to produce this lecture. Thank you very much. Thank you for your patience. Have a good day.